Hi, I'm Sam Timko, Chief Assistant to the Supervisor here for Orion Township. With me is Scott Reynolds from AKA Architects. They've been helping us over the past year or so looking at Township Hall and what we can do to help accommodate some space needs and some maintenance issues. So Scott, can you tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing with us?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. We were hired in the fall of 2018 to do a space allocation study for Orion Township. So a brief overview of what that does is we took some of the historical studies that were completed for Orion Township staff and facilities and incorporated that into a new study of looking into the building and then also taking a look at the current staffing needs and how it utilizes the building and where does the staff need and what do they need moving into the future. A brief overview is the building was originally constructed in 1974 as a Class C construction building, so a high-end residential or low-grade commercial project. It was also added onto in 1996. So we're going to kind of take a deeper dive here into some of the bits and pieces that we found in the study and tell you a little bit more.
Awesome. Let's go inside and see everything. Okay, so here we are on the upper level of the original 1974 building. What are some of the things that you looked at here when doing the study?
So we take a look at multiple pieces of the existing building, one of which is accessibility. The multiple stairs coming up from the main entry point is definitely a concern. The narrow corridors provide limited visibility for both staff and residents, which also makes it really difficult to find what department you're going to.
All right, so now we moved into an office. What are some of the things that you guys looked at when it came to looking at staff and space needs?
So we went department by department and we looked at the current staff and what positions exist in every department, and then also talked to every department head about their future needs too. And by determining the current positions, we looked at the current spaces that they utilized. So take, for example, an office right now, which is an office space, but it's also doubling as storage. And that's maybe something that in the future should really be allocated as separate spaces. So we wanted to address the current needs and also moving forward. One of the things that we found as a common thread through every department was probably a lack of space by, we're probably about half the spatial needs that everyone needs. There's other areas that probably need even more expansion based on current regulations and different regulatory needs of a township office.
We are now in the Department of Public Services storage closet where they also print and prepare utility bills. What can you tell me about this space?
Yeah, so Sam, this is a prime example of another space that's kind of doubling in multiple purposes that was originally allocated just for storage. Another important piece to kind of pan out here is we dug into the mechanical systems, the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing. So the processing equipment for billing is very temperamental and needs the right environment. Obviously a storage room isn't the right place for that, so to counteract those needs we've added a dehumidifier. Those are something that we know we need to change in the future, that it isn't something right, and it's a telltale sign of addressing mechanical systems in the future.
All right, so we're outside the sheriff's substation. What are some of the space needs and other things that you found associated with their space?
So we found that the sheriff's department, based on the current population of Orion Township, needs about 3 times the space that they're currently utilizing now. They've made some renovations over the years to try and keep up, and there just isn't enough space for them to really address their current needs, let alone into the future.
All right, so other than better utilizing space, what are some other things we could be using better here at Township Hall?
We took a look at all the components that are utilized, so like light fixtures. Right now, most of the light fixtures are incandescent or fluorescent, and they could be replaced with LED fixtures, which would actually have a payoff and start saving the township money in the long run.
So we're down in the mechanical electrical room. Can you tell me more about those needs?
Yeah, so I brought you into the mechanical room because that was one of the big parts of the study. We had a report completed by one of our consultants to really dig into the mechanical and electrical systems in the current building. And one of the things that we found is that most of the mechanical systems are reaching kind of the end of their useful life. So we need to take a look at replacing those systems. And part of replacing them means they need to be up to code and up to date with the current standards. So one of the issues is the mechanical ducts and things will need to be addressed. There are ways to retrofit a system, but it's sometimes more difficult when you're looking at a building that's existing, the existing spaces to fit those current needs in an old building.
We're here now in what was a former sheriff's office conference room, but can't be used that way anymore because of some water infiltration issues. Scott, can you tell me some more about the water infiltration?
Yeah, so we, part of our existing facilities assessment, we did take a look at how the current building is being utilized and also its current condition. So one of the pieces that we witnessed a lot of water infiltration that's occurring along this entire wall. So the wall that's on the township boardroom, adjacent to a lot of these storage areas, there's water coming through, which can create a lot of issues currently and into the future if not addressed properly. It can lead to mold. You can see that carpet has been ripped up and trying to be replaced as there's been water leakage coming through that wall.
All right, so this township building is on township water, but we are on septic.
Yeah, so that's one of the things about looking into the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system of the current building. You can see here some of the water infiltration that exists. The building was converted from well to city water, and it's still on a septic system. So that's one of those factors of a current commercial building still being on an old septic system is something to look at further. And a lot of those components that are coming near to the end of their life, and we want to take a look at replacing them.
Thanks, Scott, for taking us around and helping us understand the study just a little bit more and what you guys looked at when putting it together.
You're very welcome, Sam. It's important to take a look at your current and future needs from both a facility and a staffing standpoint to determine the best steps for Orion Township moving forward.
For anybody who wants to go through this study, it's available on the website as well as some additional information, so go ahead and check it out.